Picture this: a crowded city square, horns blaring, people rushing past one another, eyes glued to glowing screens, notifications buzzing in their pockets. In the middle of all this, one person stops. K step back from the tide of bodies, lift their gaze, and look at the sky. K. In that moment, they're no longer part of the stampede. They're an observer, a question mark in a world of exclamation points. What if stepping away isn't retreat? What if it's the bravest thing you could do? What if silence isn't emptiness at all, but the forge where new values are hammered into existence? When was the last time you stepped far enough away from the noise to hear something original stirring inside yourself? Nietzsche never saw stepping away as an act of weakness. To him, it was an act of self-overcoming, a conscious decision to leave behind the herd, not to run from life, but to meet it on your own terms. He believed that to truly create, you must first create space. Distance from the world's conventions isn't laziness, it's a vital precondition for originality. Without it, we inherit values like hand-me-down clothes, worn thin, ill-fitting, and shaped for someone else's body. This is why Nietzsche championed amor fati, love of fate, not as a blind acceptance, but as a joyous embrace of life's challenges, including the choice to step away. For him, the will to power wasn't about controlling others. It was about shaping the field on which your life is lived. When he declared that God is dead, ID wasn't a celebration, it was a challenge. The old sources of meaning have faded, so will you have the courage to forge new ones? Solitude, for Nietzsche, was never isolation. It was a creative furnace. Imagine a philosopher retreating from the debates of the day to craft a moral vision unlike any that came before. Picture a musician stepping off the stage for years, not to hide, but to rewrite the score of their own life. These are moments when stepping away becomes the soil where the Burmensch, the higher self, can grow. In our world today, stepping away might mean something simpler, yet equally radical. Logging out of the algorithm's grip, ignoring the endless news cycle, or daring to be silent when everyone is shouting. Strip away the praise and the criticism. What's left? What ideas survive without applause? Which beliefs still stand when no one is watching? Nietzsche might give us a few exercises. Take a quiet day, no media, no external input, just you. Your thoughts, and a blank page where you write a proclamation as bold and strange as your soul. A coup or a truth fast where you give up the comforting lies we all tell ourselves and others, until you're releved with the stark reality that can only be met with honesty. Then there's the will to power pose, not in imitation of Nietzsche's swagger, but in the spirit of it, a defiant stand against the forces that would diminish you. Sarastras, to a value audit list every belief you hold dear. Score each one on its vitality and temporarily suspend one to see how your life shifts. Or write the antithetical draft, the opposite of one of your deepest convictions. See if your belief survives the stress test. But stepping away is not just about questioning, it's about returning. Nietzsche warned of the danger of getting stuck outside, lost in the wilderness of your own skepticism. The point isn't to wander forever, but to come back armed with new clarity, to act with purpose. Stepping away should sharpen you, not dissolve you. Think of the corporate manager who walked away from the worship of quarterly numbers and returned to create a project that measured success in human terms. The artist who abandoned the festival circuit, returning with work so original it shifted the conversation about beauty. The student who silenced the chaos of online debates long enough to craft a philosophy that could withstand any critique. Each one stepped away, saw clearly, and came back with something worth offering. This is what I call the step back, step inward, step forward rhythm. Step back to create space, step inward to reflect honestly, and step forward to act with renewed intention. Frame it not as avoidance, but as creation in progress. Tell yourself, I'm drafting a new value, and mean it. But beware the traps. Don't let stepping away become an excuse for cynicism. Don't turn it into a performance of contrarianism. Nietzsche's version of this practice is rooted in courage, responsibility, and an almost fierce optimism that life can be reshaped. So here is your challenge. Find one thing in your life, just one, that you can step away from for a week. Something that consumes your attention without feeding your soul. Step away, pay attention to what emerges in the silence, and then come back with something new to offer the world. Because stepping away is not an escape. It is a heroic act of authorship. In the end, the chaos you carry within is not your enemy, it's the raw material. As Nietzsche reminds us, one must still have chaos in oneself to be able to give birth to a dancing star. And that's the power of stepping away, not as a retreat, but as a way to return with sharper eyes and a stronger voice. If this sparked something in you, take a moment today to pause, breathe, and choose one thing to step away from. Even a small break can open the door to big transformations. If you enjoyed this dive into Nietzsche's ideas and want more explorations of philosophy, meaning, and self-discovery, hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss what's next. And share your own stepping away stories in the comments. I would love to hear how you have reclaimed your clarity.